Chapter 3. Alright, Chapter 3. Master Planning, Sizing, User Input. With the wash facility with the design with the meet the user and the design will be determined the time and type of the configuration wants to do with the treatment system, the base for the information supply with the installation prior to initial planning will result with the best final with the design with the plan will have the assemble the data with the make of the short many for the short for the for the judgment, applying with the data with the guidelines provided with the staff of the facility components for the data for the time available the estimate must be made. 31111 military mission data with the water facility must not support the particular need for the installation troop with the type over their vehicle with the training with the program both the current and future with the must consider these include with the resident training resident trooper as well with the transit troop with the combination for the number of the vehicle with the type of the vehicle the frequency walking will determine the type of the type of the wash vehicle with the facility required with the complete list for the each of the military unit will leave the facility if it's required along with the vehicle component complement expected the frequency each of the vehicle will be washed wash frequency tab of the certain component with the wash facility with the will be for the some of the long term, but the average of the number of the vehicle with the wash for the other components, any side of the short term, PQ for the numbers, both give for the mix of the vehicle, if for the important consideration, average facility should be provided for the broken down as weekly as bi-weekly, monthly, and annually. Some seasonal variation must also be consideration training program. The impact for the seasonal over the large number of the transit, even the particular part of the vehicle. Your impact is expected to be the average weekly, monthly numbers of the not many. The fixed ratio of the average of the annual numbers of the monthly average should be the average of the highest UV amounts. Weekly should be the average of the highest UV uses. The peak of the UV facility should be provided with the UV with the largest number of the vehicle to be washed for the consistent, short-term period in the night and washing with the design. For the peak UV, for the example, the continue for 3 days, 72 period with the peak UV that will represent the fuel full utilization wash facility components. Chosen time period of the plan with the consideration length of the time will take with the vehicle schedule for the wash for the peak of the extra for the return with the containment area with the train with the rate of the movement of the vehicle for the determine the time for peak for the operation of the central vehicle washing should accommodate all the unit with the access for the full utilization with the wash component with the important with the plan with the consider the frequency of time peak UV in some case for the larger scale for the fly facility but not be justified because for the lower frequency with the peak of the activity peak UV the condition expected to occur for the last 3 time periods 2113 with the vehicle soil and data with the type of the soil find with the train range of the line the weather condition the predictor for the amount of the which have to be washed over the vehicle with the visual effect with the type washing concept with the type of the required with the vehicle with the amount of the wash with the wastewater with the components characterization show the need with the stuff of the installation man showing with the soil with the route with the total train everything should be able to determine the same with clay with the combination with the curve with the same with the soil should be taken with the range area with the sample to take with the direction with the dirty vehicle with the return with the contaminate with the area with the heavy terrain with the separate samples should be colored with the identify with the each of the identifiers wall type with the read like teacher and with the soil with the laboratory should be prayer graduation you to for the grading sides of the distribution shoveling with the gravel with the sand still with the clay utilizing both the mechanical and the hydrometer and analysis of the 1000 millimeter diameter both disperse and then disperse hydrometer and analysis needed to perform by disperse for the break of the particle of the individual grains usually standard classification will be given the categorizing soil with expect with the vehicle to disperse with the assessing agglomerated particle the the treatment analysis of the chapstick or stick for the in which for the washing operation does not totally disperse the soil. Figure 3 will show the example cohesive silty clay with the soil graduation curve of the must disperse and both disperse and disperse to show the example of the non-cohesive Santanian soil. Cohesive soil graduation show the non-cohesive soil graduation curve. As a classification soil with the curve of the vehicle with the need with the vehicle take the practical stuff of the curve of the previous discovered the lag with the percentage of the sand with the clay with the disperse with the angular classification chart with the shown with the Gary 3 classification can be made as indicator show the potential expect with the vehicle with the chart with the divided within the 5 categories for the soil type number the same with the silty stand with the given the type number 1 being likely for the soil of the vehicle being the easiest to clean clay given the type of the number the 5 being the most likely soil to begin with the hardest to clean their particular and for the main may apply with the and chart with the close with the line between the two type of the interpolation should be applied with the soil to be given them with the type of the number of the 2-5 with the different soil over the curve with the training range training range with the average with the must be found with the U with the design should be U with the judgment making determination give the U with the do with the consideration extreme and adverse effect for the given the covered by the head clay constant soil the soil classification soil type number designation percentage of the sands indicating soil number of the percentage of clay sand clay silty clay and clay sand clay silt, salty sand, sandy silt, percentage of the silt. Actual soiling vehicle, the soiling of the vehicle is a function of both of the soil type of the mineral with the rain, with the wet conditions, expected with the training over the therefore with the climatic data, with the most provided with the order of the fully asset for the potential of the vehicle soiling with the having the region would have the maximum soil potential, where rainy region would have the maximum soil potential being assigned with the climate factor for the air with the ranging from 1 being average to 2 being with the varying wet with the multiplying by the soil type, the number of the soil index be obtained by the installation given the equation number 3.1 with the soiling index will be used to predict the time to determine the need for the pre-wash 3.114 climatic data. To prove the state of climatic data, the installation after the additional amount of the rain with the seasonal variation, with the temperature of the need of the air, along with the period of the freezing weather, will require the vessel design consideration to protect the wash for the component of the pumping of the pipe of the most wash component, in particular the pre-wash, may not be feasibly operated with new freezing conditions because of the safely hazards cover the overspring with free for the payment within code for the facility may be however warranted the over the very expense of the both of the capital operation standpoint of the climatic consideration timeline of the evaporation rate of the region in the area with high evaporated lava for the low rainfall for the crave for the feature for the central high vehicle washing facility that may not be practical. For example, over the spray of the crave for large water lava due to the overspray with the UV pre-wash system, crew for the volume required for the treatment system for the high wash rate over the volume of the surface area of the basin with the most may increase for the particular lagoon treatment, which promotes the evaporated lofts even with the more of the design more available with the potential evaporative loft for the need for the makeup of the water weight of the against the benefits for either the recycle system or the discharge system. Your pre-wash is used to reduce the time needed for the wash of the vehicle since the remove the bulk of the dirt timely and efficiently with the function to reduce the amount of the time with each vehicle that must spend in the wash station. Bath and pre-wash. The bath pre-wash is currently most effective efficient with the effective method to remove the dirt of the exterior of the tactical vehicle with a large volume of the water with the required the fill of the bath that become the reduce of the wash time with the overall water volume required during clearing a large number of vehicles that may be reduced with the lane, specifically designed with the washer track vehicle that can be provided with the lane that accommodate both of the track with the wheel vehicle to refer to as dual purpose lane that can also be provided with these in the described in chapter 5 the wheel vehicle with under 2.5 tons would normally be used the pre-wash bath. 31211 process rate. The attracted both of the bath lane with a 6 and 10 track vehicle with the per hour that can be washed for the dual purpose for the 215 wheel vehicle with the per hour can be washed for the amount with the solely determined actual number of the vehicle with the process of the roof. If it's over the heavier soiling will slow over the vehicle can be processed by using soiling index and the process rating with the chart shown figure 3.4 with the rate with determined particular design 3.4 vehicle processing rate vehicles per hour soiling index component type of the vehicle pre-wash heavy track pre-wash light track pre-wash wheeled washing track after the pre-wash washer with large wheeled after pre-wash track without pre-wash large wheel without pre-wash small wheel without pre-wash number of the lane of the pre-wash panel with the tractor factor for the maximum number of the vehicle with the most speed wash for the facility for the time specified for the installation equal for the period with the expected for the profit for the rate of the facility. Equations 3.2 and 3.3 it will help the designer determine the number of each of the type of the lane the need for the pre-wash. Certainly installation requirement to indicate the result that should be true the maximum washing time with critical the number that should be rounded up, otherwise the number of the lane should be rounded out to the nearest whole number. The number of the track lanes equal to the maximum of the track vehicle to be washed over the process rate when the peak of the washing period with the equation 3 with on the track vehicle will wash wheels the dual purpose located but to be considered the equation the number of the track vehicle with the lane should be included since they will not be washed twice in the pre-wash. The number of the dual purpose lanes equals 1 over the peak wash period time with the number of track vehicles over the process rate time with the number of wheels over the process rate. Equation example the example of the will be better explained with how to use the equation consider the installation need had to wash 42 heavy track vehicle with 88 light track vehicle with the 125 vehicle wheel vehicle with the pre-wash during the peak view for the installation required that all the vehicle with the washing 90 hours over the transportation exclusively cohesive place over the path of the range for the pre-wash with expected to be slow with the design to determine the soiling index for the is 8 for the chart with the 3 with the estimate with the 5 heavy tractor vehicles per hour can be washed in each of the lane with the 7 light track vehicles per hour can be washed. 11 wheel vehicles per hour can be washed. Per lane can be washed in dual purpose lane with the initial calculation found that will be 420 of the design reliable with the track vehicle with the vehicle with the dual purpose lane with the track vehicle will be washed life for the 9 hours. But with the wheel vehicle will require more than 9 hours to achieve the more even the distribution vehicle washing the design recalculation of the number of the lanes by assuming that some of the light tractors of that one vehicle with the use of the dual purpose of the lane with the designer adjust the process for the rate with the light track vehicle with the dual purpose lane with the wheel track the number track will take a larger process for the track vehicle with the dual purpose of the lane with the track of the vehicle with the inside of the since the flexors for the dual purpose lane they're not as effective as those for the track lane with the moving embodied souls from tracks. It shows some equations. Track vehicle with a dual purpose lane would offer the more efficient with the bath than those were given in the first calculation. 31212 automatic washer. The type of the number of the vehicle, the motor pool, the must conserve the type of the automatic washer over the administrative the type of the vehicle with the TMP with the usually return of only the time washer. They return with these large number of the units while waiting for the washer. For limited amount of the cable, the tactical vehicle, the central vehicle washing facility. Facilities usually are employed to do the washing with the TMP with the wash facility. Therefore, all of the daily washing normally occur during the 8-hour period during the daylight. one or two position automatic pre-wash until they may be all required again with the number of the vehicle of the recycle with the average time of the washing unit determine the size of the pre-wash unit. 313. With the before side of the facility with him with the pre-wash with the designer must have clear with the understanding with the installation washing requirement, the number of the station, the need with the wash facility, depending on the weather, the pre-wash system is provided with the pre-wash lesson time with these vehicle with the must spend with the wash station over the producing with the station needed. 3131 site for the pre-wash. Site for the pre-wash, the bathtub for the pre-wash provided with the number of the wash station, but there should be between 2 and 5 of the per track vehicle bath lane with the process the rate 3 to 6 for the vehicles per each of the wash station can be expected for each after the wash having the wash in the bath since all the vehicles will go through the pre-wash calculations line must account with the longer wash time of the vehicle with the process of the variety the 2 to 4 vehicles per large or large odd shape with the tandem of the unit they expect for the process of the variety 4 to 10 vehicles per hour with the small with the wheel vehicle the touch of the Jeep and a half ton can be expected. Installation limited washing of the large percent of the vehicle with the wash for the like of the required with the more wash station with any given the number of the station calculated for the process rate with each of the type of the vehicle with the type of the wash on to get 3 4 following the same logical steps you with the side of the pre-wash. 3132 side of the sizing without the pre-wash. The pre-wash around the plane take with the number of the washing and the base on the soil condition process of the process rate of the vehicle the washing state depending on the several like between 1/10 of the vehicle drop the range give the level adjustment of the vehicle type only at the site installation of the vehicle soil the large amount of the cohesive slate soil clays have the soil processing rate those of the non-cohesive slabs soil will stand the depth of the U of the vehicle the U of the soil and the junction with the processing rate shown with the figure 3 4 of the throughout can be determined each of the vehicle the type of the emission of the installation also with the will effect with the rate with the same installation vehicle that may be returned to the motor pool immediately for the inspection if the cave of the processing will slow with the vehicle but not being with the inspect for the surface the troop must be likely perform detailed washing this time of the must be taken the clean vehicle with the will return directly with the field with the further track the number of the track vehicle with the vehicle to be washing you with the equation 3 and 4 to estimate the number of the wash station even the facility the number of the station equal to 1 over the max wash period time with the number tracked over the number track process rate or plus the number of the wheel large over the large wheel process rate plus the number of the wheel small over the small wheel process rate. These are requirements to determine the number that should be rounded if the maximum washing time of the critical number that should be rounded up, but otherwise it should be rounded to the nearest whole number. Citing in 321 geography with all the features development of the land you for the installation must be considered the same with the central vehicle the watch for the future plane with the must adversely affect with the vehicle with the equipment move the inside with the outside of the facility. Same time with the facility must not be interfere with the activity of the contaminant the drain air with the vice versa the land with the U for the compatibility of the vehicle with noise with the movement must not interfere with the family housing hospital other installation activity and night watching plan but it must be not distributed local activity for example the lighting of the facility must not be distributed and disturbed in the surrounding area. 321 space requirement of the plan with the design with the consider the overall space of the requirements for the facility with a large open area with the need with the total recycle of the treatment system to be installed lagoon treatment system require even larger air for the air and filled with the system small area of the air side of the partial with a total discharge of the all central vehicle the washing facility the 8-way system station with no pre-wash no recyclable system can be required 2 to 4 acre with the 1 over the 40 20 wash station with the 4 lane pressure wash with the complete pre-wash for the complete recycle treatment system can require them more 50 acres. 32112 for the contaminant bans or the wash facility should be located near the permanent contaminant battery between the train area with the maintenance of the shop motor pool for the vehicle must be cleaned before entering with the contaminant area. Otherwise, the dirt will fall off on the roads and travel to the other areas. The future chain of the contaminant boundary must also consider the central vehicle washing facility. 3213 with the train yard. The facility should be located close to the possible the main tractor tank trail with the excessive road for the train yard. With a similar site with this vehicle with the wash for the return from the train field with the errors prior to entering the contaminant roads and the future location of the train areas must be considered with respect to the central vehicle wash site. 3214 transportation artery for the several route with the usually entry for the contaminated area with the may be different with the train of the central vehicle the washing usually cannot be controlled for the each of the entry points of the new the road for the tank trail that must have the built and the link of the primary route for the train area with the wash so if they prevent the vehicle from becoming solid immediately with after the washing they must return to the wash facility with the maintain shop with the motor pool so the pavement the must be paved on the road the tank trail they exist for the facility with the plaque with the plate for the clove for the existing road the tank with the trail with the provided pave the new construction will be kept with the minimum of the facilities must also be located with the minimum of the distance for the dirt vehicle the must travel the major transportation artery the otherwise light dirt vehicles will drop soil on the road to over which the track over the vehicle to the travel the number of the tank travel the crossing over the major road for the both of the them from the wash facility must also be minimum of the entrance and wash facility should be side to the diverse avoid adverse effects of the track both there and in the contaminated. But the facility should not be located within the congested area, such near the main gate of the major intersection. Hospital administrative office and other traffic areas. 3215. The maintenance shop of the motor pools. Present and future location of the tactical maintenance shop of the motor pools must be considered with the setting of the central vehicle washing facility. With the faculty should be facility should be located between the training area of the maintenance shop of the motor pools. With the vehicle should be returned from the training area of the after washing. Return the maintenance shop of the motor pools. Minimum contaminant roads. 322 water. Wash facility must be designed with a due to the consideration all local regional weather conditions. 3221. The installation of the region with a long period with the freezing temperature sent for the central vehicle to wash equipment with the strap of the pre-wash bath with the must be usable sent for the central vehicle to wash is not intended to operate with the intensity continuously at a temperature below 40 degrees Fahrenheit with the seasonal occasional freezing temperature for the specialized piping component of the features must include the outdoor train and facility drain with exposed pipe to keep it from them from freezing. South-facing slope of the should be considered the construction side for the taking the greatest advantage of the sun with the heating during the winter month of the weather states and treatment structure. System should be protected with freezing the temperature to prevent the pipe and other vulnerable components of the freezing from the rupturing. Alright, 3222. Winds. Designer should get located in the wash facility treatment so for the minimum with the wind blowing over the basin and creep with the rate of the evaporation. In addition with the blow over the long and active along with the basin can create a wave of the eroded bank of the wind can be used with the move surface of the oil stored the oil skim the sediment base of the provide with the oil skimming located properly with the strategically placed vegetation structure of the fence that can reduce the adverse effect of the wind. However, the vegetation must not interfere with the pipe with the trench of the pavement line of the other fractional parts of the facility. 3223. The precipitation generally sloping ground with the elevated slightly more respect with the surrounding ground should be controlled with the ensure the stormwater that can be controlled with the stormwater collected the pavement during the washing operation should be directed with the time toward the treatment of the system must require the treatment of addition with the used with the makeup of the water with the recyclable system of the covering which should be installed with the soil with the pavement with the interface with the where the needs to control with the drainage flow, prevent erosion, rainwater from falling over the surrounding area that should be directed away from the facility and life of the should use the makeup of the water. 32224 on vegetation site with distributing most of it. Protect for the existing vegetation, protect the building personnel basins against the wind and sunlight, tree shrub with the grass should not be removed except the density for the construction operation of the roots and hold the soil with the place without preventing sheet wash and soil the deposition on the paved surface into the stormwater collection to the moisture treatment basin to promote growth vegetation such as trees and shrubs the surface along with the edge of the basin the tree shrub of the grove area close to the filter basin must be clear because of the root system of the may penetrate with the line of the cause leak for the slope of the brim should be designed to allow the maintenance. 32225 WANA. The abundance of the water promotes the insect of the animal life of the area around the basin. 4 fences that may have been constructed around the basin, with especially arid region prevented with the well of the entering the area to drink of the bed. Instance of the activity can damage of the slope of the line of the waters. Also may attract the burrowing animals that it can damage the liner and burn and then presence of the time and increase the main of the needs. 32226 evaporation rate. The region evaporation rate must be considered with the signal of the design facility. 322261 arid regions. Our wash facility in arid regions must have the wash structure with the transition for the design with the minimum of the effect with evaporation water from the treatment that should be directed with the door of the treatment system. In this way, with the storm water can be collected with the UV additional soil with the makeup of the water in a high arid region with the pavement that should be light called the reflective with the evaporation rate will be left with the wash water with a color light surface with and whether it is hotter with a darker one. Another major point of the evaporation of the basin, the treatment with the high rate of the evaporation of the basin, the concentration dissolve the solid in the water. The higher dissolve of the content with the result of the spotting of the vehicles after the washing and increase the corrosion exposed to the surface of the air of the basin should be minimized. The basin depth of the creep of the upper limit is the level of the whole limit to hold the required volume of the reducing surface exposed surface of the air with the wind blowing over the basins. Also rate the evaporation rate fence with the shrub that can be placed around the basin to help block winds then coverage of the base over the basin to reduce the evaporation basin liners materials. Used filters should be light on the color. 3222262 which water rich region water rich area. The provision made with the handle with the heavy the water volume on top of the control to prevent the storm water damage and the damage of the treatment system of the provide become critical when the heavy rains are expected. 3223 geology 3231 topographic the chair should be at some level of the law following the design consider the UV the gravity control with the recycled wastewater system 2-3 slow percent slow across the side of the desirable high slide being adjacent with the access of the road the tank trail of the terrain with the part of the treatment system will recover the extra pumping in order with the recycle with the water with the requirement would improve the cost of the initial construction. Of the operation is essential that the wastewater flow with the gravity of the wash construction of the sediment bowl should the wastewater be pumped with the primary treatment. Any of the water would become emulsified with the more difficult to remove low lift pump can be used elsewhere with the facility necessary with the entire site where there should be elevated respect with the surrounding area immediately over the ship all the way from the site to help with the move the transform water with the cold air with the air away from the site, but the desirable local to the top Africa no funnel not funnel water with the strong winds to the site. 3223 3232 soil. The soil boring with maybe take with the proper soil both side with determine the soil, the type of the depth of the bed, the depth of the water tube of the soil, that should be able to support with the concrete bed and with the sun sailors that would be applied with the bottom of the basin, same filter for the filters for facility. The pump out for the control building, large over the particle, the 10 slab, and the shift the mortar, the more small ones. Therefore, sand air with the walls of the excavated basement, and will have the built with long sloped angle to prevent the problem. The excavation of the basement, based on the side of the cohesive soil, the may expensive, the side of the non-cohesive soil, the type of the may be more expensive to stabilize the soil, but the side of the non-cohesive soil may also be more cost effective to use the cohesive soil of the basin construction over the other type of the land with the imported soil of the pit, and items made difficult to seal the non-cohesive soil of the settling and shifting of the soil that may create leakers and liner of the bed, and the liners can also be damaged by the hydraulic pressure for the groundwater, especially with the non-cohesive soils are present. 3233 bedrock. The stratum that should have the deep bedrock since the shallow bedrock hindered for the excavation bedrock may penetrate with the fissure for the pump of the subsurface with the water recheck the network with the public water supply. With the supply could become contaminated with the wash water facility. The excavation of the bedrock also increase the construction cost on no other side of the bed. The elements here that maybe with the increase the soil depth of the strata, but another alternative would be to excavate the material. This is easily to remove the dam of the bedrock. Then you put the excavated material to build the berm around the basin. The gradient berm slope that must be long enough to allow avoid interfering with the operation mainly to prevent the sheet erosion of the slope. 3234 water table. The player must know the depth of the water table is proposed with the construction site of the side of the near marsh wash in the low area with the ship determine the water with the table with the inverse effect of the pollution operation made with the facility must be above the maximum height of the seasonal pertinent and water table layer. The water table that may be required with the complex drainage system that usually have with the construction cover. The ship the basin filter with the construction water level low and water rises from the structure. The hydraulic pressure can be damaged. The line with the cover leak of the clay line lenses other impervious subsurface for the feature to create high water table excavation to repair the subsurface of the structure to hinder the high water table. It will also be expensive to pick up the groundwater would have to be removed. The site would allow the personnel to work. 3235. Important that the wastewater chamber of the facility not contaminated with the drink of the water supply. Therefore, the water structure must be drained with the subsurface the water with the recharge of the air with the public drink subsurface over the shell with the subsurface the water should be directed away from the site unless it has been surface with the makeup of the water with the wave with the will be due with the washing store with the treatment of certain climate the pounding of the pounding control collection of stormwater can cause discomfort of the workers being cold and wet with the speed of the rate with which the equipment wears the site with the permeable soils, also wear with the water with the percolate with the prevents pounding and the sheeting erosion. Alright, 3236 history. The important for the have the historical knowledge of the site of the past, you with the name make of the unsuitable you of the archaeological standing, you of the old barrel grounds, or other hazardous standpoint of the old landfills, old fire ranges, and impact areas. 324 utility. The fire must consider with all the utility required. The facility with respect to the be able to sever the swim of the utility down available the best solve the must be found water with the water facility should be sited near the existing water supply lines if potable water meets should be installed with potable recycled water can meter 32411 potable supply with the water provided with the drinking water for the person when not feasible with the facility potable water system potable water equipment can be used with the supply with the drinking water sometimes must be posted with informing the person not to drink the water and telling them to drink water. Telling them where to drink water is available. 32412. Make up the water. Potable water is not required with the washing of the vehicle, but the water must be free with the particle punch material with the water and free with the pumping operation. Call the premature water. Where of the wash equipment, water serve the most charge of maintaining the working level of the treatment system. Dedicated well maybe with the more economical thing with the existing water line with the plane with the untreated water. Untreated. Well, with the groundwater must be the acceptable quality must buy with a consistent supply. If the air is water-rich, range could be even the source of the link of the water, ponds, lakes, streams, and other potential raw water supply source for facility. The amount of the water needed with the facility depend on the several factors, the frequency, washing of the number of the vehicle, the type of the vehicle, the type of the treatment system provided. The player must also consider the best source of the land for the charging of the recycling treatment system. Initially, once of the recycling treatment facility is charged with the only demand of the water will make up the loss of the vehicle carrying off the evaporation and leakage. 3242 sanitary. The facility should be located near the sanitary sewer lines if possible. The branch being allowed with the design latrine with the wash facility with the sanitary line with the other option with the pit latrines for the composting chemical toilet. This tank the field with the line with the possible section with the depending with the local practical with the preference of the location for the newest sewer line. Also allow the zone to divert all and all part of the wastewater to the installation sewer pipeline with the type of the discharge system. You with the planner mode to determine the sewage when treatment the facility that can be handled with the discharge wastewater, then including hydroxyl with the loading created with the cost of the tanking and with maintaining sewer lines must also be considered when deciding whether or not whether to tie the facility with the sewer treatment system. 3243 Electrical provisions should comply with the UFC 1-200-02, UFC 3-50-101, 01. Watch for the facility should be located near the electrical distribution service. Electrical power is not available to serve. The new service must be provided. Electrical distribution will be required to serve the area with canopy lighting power, security, and other appurtenances associated with these facilities. Alright, 32431, planning. The minimum planning should be found with the electrical service facility with 208, 120 volt with a 203 phase 4 wire. The design electrical service distribution will be needed for the expected load of the variable distribution for the UK item with the main effect with the service available nearby with the expected level there. There will be supporting facility with the canopy observation building with the water treatment, the recycled discharge over the type of the washing operation frequency with the number of the washing operations performed each year. But with your local utility power supply power source unavailable to outside generation may provide the facility according to the UFC 3-540-01, but if knowing the planning of the funding of the document should reflect the cost of the service, the extent of the provisions needed to determine that during the planning whether the provisions provided under the construction contract also needed to determine the planning with the ensure the proper funding of the strings and available. 3243 electrical power distribution. Exposed electrical power line should not be spanning area for the vehicle movement with the proximity of the personnel consistent with the presence of the water on certain vehicle dimensions and intends to create operational heavy environmental overhead electrical distribution is UFC 3-550-01 provided further guidance for the exterior electrical power distribution requirement 3244 lighting of the lighting provision should comply with the UFC 1-100-02 UFC 3-530-01 the washing facility should be located near the existing lighting source if possible. Adequate lighting should be provided with the nighttime washing operation as required by the installation for work safety. The overhead lighting is required by the area for the vehicle movement. Work level of lighting must be provided with the bath pre-wash for the top of the UK vehicle with the area to be clean. Provide the lighting level of 3-foot candle minimum measure the pavement the grade level of the wash area. Provide the lighting level of 5-foot candle minimum measurement vertical on the vehicle to end in. This type of lighting should not be additive with the computing lighting. Computing lighting intensity level is for the vertical protection and other horizontal protection. 32441 minimum lighting level. The areas adjacent to the handstand with the assembling stage for the travel lane should have the minimum lighting level of 1-foot candle. 32442 Security National Fire Protection Association 101 lighting. Security National Fire Protection Agency 101 lighting is required. Entrance and exit door over the eve of the building of the facilitation selected portion of the low tower structure. Make sure there may be the security lighting. 3245 telecommunication provision should comply with the UFC 3-580-01. The telecommunications service should provide the facilities outside plan provision should be connected with the local network enterprise center for the communication squadron extend with the work should be dependent with the facility involved with as little as telephone the canopy the equipment room with the copper the fiber optic cables control building new few factors should be addressed in playing with the first of the air for the equipment building the building will need the digital control the need report the installation system. There's a contract protocol requiring reporting over the telephone data system. The security system involved but it doesn't require the reporting in another system. Alright, it's important for the air telecommunications for the to span air with the vehicle movement the vehicle antenna for the especially with the wet vehicle the most not occupied with the contact with the distribution of the current wood pole with the safety hazards to the airplane should account with the all working experience with the clearance of this being addressed the design stage of these requirements identified. Chapter 4 Design